Hello, and welcome to my presentation. My name is Rebecca Romero, and this is my presentation for my site plan on Allegiant Stadium. We know that Allegiant Stadium is a place where several thousands of people can go at once, since it has the capacity to hold over 65,000 people. So it is very important to take a look at this site in order to assess its current conditions and to recommend what could be better so that it can be a safer area to travel to and to be at. The current positive conditions at Allegiant Stadium is that there are barriers for pedestrians walking. As you can see in this photo, there are trees and an actual fence protecting the sidewalk near the stadium. However, this is only true for the sidewalks right on the stadium's property. All other sidewalks in the area they don't have trees or fences to protect pedestrians. Other conditions at the stadium is that there are no bike lanes anywhere near the Allegiant Stadium, and there is a small number of bike racks. So the few people that do bike to the stadium, they don't have enough storage for their bikes. And there's also a lack of crosswalks in the area. This slide shows the bike lanes that are near Allegiant Stadium currently. So if you look to the left, you can see the key, and it shows that the purple dotted lines that are up near the upper left corner of the image show where there are current bike lanes near Allegiant Stadium. None of these bike lanes are in the stadium district, which is shown by the black dotted lines. Lately, there have been more people arriving at the stadium by bicycle. The few bike racks that they do have are always packed on days where there's events. So this image shows just how packed these bike racks can get during events. So as you can see, there's only two white boxes in the photo, in the upper left corner and the upper right corner. These two are the only crosswalks near Allegiant Stadium. These two crosswalks are about half a mile apart from each other on a major street. And a major area where people park that's not directly nearby to the stadium is an additional parking lot to the right of this image, about 0.6 miles away from the crosswalk in the upper right hand corner. So there's obviously not enough crosswalks in this area for the amount of pedestrians that go through here on a regular basis for all these events. This image shows the parking options near Allegiant Stadium. So all the squares are parking options where to park your vehicle near Allegiant Stadium. The squares that are gray are about 0.6 miles away from Allegiant Stadium. We know that most people are willing to walk about a quarter of a mile to about a third of a mile, maybe a half a mile at the most. So this is way over the amount that people would usually be willing to walk. Some ways to improve active transportation near Allegiant Stadium can include implementing calming measures, which can include adding curb extensions and adding pavement texture to the roads. It also can include adding more crosswalks to the area. As you saw in one of the previous slides, there was only two areas where there were crosswalks and they were half a mile apart, so we can definitely include more crosswalks to make it safer for pedestrians to cross the road. Also, we could add additional bike lanes. One traffic calming measure that should be added to improve active transportation rates in the area surrounding the Allegiant Stadium would be to add curb extensions. So adding these curb extensions, which are also known as neck downs, would allow for more room for pedestrians to move around. It's important to have extra room for these pedestrians since when people walk to this location, there can be several thousand people walking in the area at one time, since Allegiant Stadium can hold up to 65,000 people for each event that's held. These extensions can also act as an extra barrier between pedestrians and vehicles and allow for shorter crossing distances, which can give the pedestrians more safety. Also, this area does not have any bike lanes whatsoever, so the addition of these curb extensions can help to make more room for bicyclists as well as the pedestrians. So another traffic calming measure that could be implemented in the area surrounding Allegiant Stadium would be to add pavement texture to the roads. Adding pavement texture can define channelized areas for pedestrians by tying the pavement texture directly into crosswalks and intersections. These changes in the pavement automatically catch the driver's attention since it's so different than what they're used to seeing on the roads. The change in the material of the road makes drivers more conscious and aware that pedestrians are in the area and causes them to slow down. The cost approximations for the proposed additions to help improve active transportation near Allegiant Stadium are as follows. For bike lanes, the price can range from $10,000 to $50,000 per mile of bike lane that is added. For curb extensions, it could cost up to $10,000 to $20,000 for each curb extension. For crosswalks, it could cost up to $770 to $5,700 for each crosswalk added, depending on the amount of visibility. And the pavement texture ranges from $5 to $16 per square foot. So, for all the proposed ways to help improve active transportation near Allegiant Stadium, the cost will be high. The priority assessment for adding additional measures to improve the active transportation around the area of Allegiant Stadium should be a high priority. It should be a high priority because the safety needs to be upgraded in this area as soon as possible. It needs to be upgraded as soon as possible because there are thousands of people that visit this area on a regular basis. Just for some context, during the first 9 months that Allegiant Stadium was open, almost 1.3 million people came to Allegiant Stadium during that time. That's over a million people in that area in a short time span. This area needs to be upgraded as soon as possible in order to increase the safety. My evaluation plan would be to use the pedestrian environment data scan, which is also known as PEDS, and this considers different environmental elements in context, such as the environment, which can include the lighting on the street, the shade from the trees, the power lines on the roads, etc. It can also include pedestrian facilities, such as the buffers to the road, the width of the path, and the connectivity of the sidewalks. It could also include the road attributes, like the bike facilities, the speed limit that's posted, and the parking on the street, off the street, etc. And one of the most important parts is that it looks for the safety for pedestrians and for bicyclists. And PEDS is designed for efficient and reliable data to be collected. So this test does take about 5 minutes for every 400-foot section, and it's important to be able to collect the 36 pieces of information for every single 400-foot section. So using PEDS before adding the new features to the area, and again after adding everything has been added, will be able to tell us if our changes are improving the active transportation near Allegiant Stadium.